Okay, it's 6:30 and we have a quorum, so I think it's time to call this meeting of the Facilities Committee to order. Can we get a roll call, please?
Furtado, Hanauer Friedman,
Here.
Locke,
Here.
Here.
Vanich Theranot, Wilson,
Here.
Lakshin.
Here. Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting? So move. Smith, second Locke. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. Motion to approve the meeting minutes from November 7th, 2023. Say I'll look to the side of the room this time. Ellie, and then Mike Smith seconds. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, those are approved. Do we have any public participation for tonight's facilities meeting? It does not look like any members of the public are present. So we can move on to board communications. Do we have any communications for tonight? No? Racing through this already. Let's see. On to new business. Item number 1, update on ITB 2022-008, County Plaza renovation project, Bailey Edward Design, and Born Rousseau. Yeah. Okay. I didn't think there was a microphone.
Oh,
That way.
got it.
It just has a wider range.
I understand.
It's presented with a capital P. And then 2275.
While they're booting up the computer, we set out on your table the data provided to us by both Born Russo for last month pay app on minority and female participation in the workforce, as well as have 2 months, 2 papers previous month, and so it'll be October and November from the jail project. So those come in late. They not necessarily with the pay app, because they have to be provided all their subs with all the subs pay apps and wages. So it takes a little time for both contractors to get those put together. So we can never quite hit our facility meeting on each month for each pay app. So that's why we're kind of in the rear by at least a month.
No, but we appreciate the data. I'm glad we have it here today. So you can go ahead with the update.
Okay. Photos, we're progressing well on the inside with interior finishes. We're painting now on 3. So this is some photos of the GIS space. You'll see some of their color selections there. So we're kind of making our way through 3rd and 4th floor right now with interior painting. We should be down to 2nd floor hopefully by the end of the week. A curtain wall is progressing. As of today, we're about 60% done on this bay here in the photo. So just kind of continuing around the building, doing our new curtain wall installation. We'll progress back to the north side after they finish this northwest corner. You can see on that last photo there, we got most of the west elevation done. We're waiting for that decorative cap from the 4th to 5th floor, which should be here in another week or 2, and then we'll be able to button up that entire west side, moving around the building. So 3rd floor just kind of continued into your finishes. We're starting ceiling grids on 3rd floor, installing light fixtures, MEPs, sprinklers, basically a final trim out on a lot of the interior rooms on 4th floor as well. So happy to see that progressing as we go down the building. There's some interior grid shots. We got some door guards on there just to protect the door frames as we go down. and then some more decorative accent walls there. Some of your restrooms on the north side, 4 and 3 are done, so we have the accessories now, so we'll be mounting the accessories this month, getting the toilets and plumbing fixtures installed as well. And just a couple more kind of finished shots. A lot of work progressing the past 6 weeks, so kind of finally on the interior finishes and new work going back in the building. So light fixtures, 4th floor, they started that today, so in the next few weeks we'll be installing those throughout the 4th and 3rd floor. I think that's it for photos. Any questions on like interior, progress, exterior progress, etc.?
It looks really good from the picture. I can see the progress even from last month's
Yeah,
walkthrough.
it's quite a
And
bit.
Ellie and I had parked on the west side of the building for a meeting we went to a few weeks ago and saw the, I don't know the word for the way the vertical lines are now.
Oh, the butt joint,
Yeah,
glazing, yeah.
how they look different than the rest of the building.
Mhm.
And it really does look attractive. I think it's going to be a gorgeous building, both inside and out.
Yep, no, it's really come along good, so.
Any other questions or comments on the general construction? Okay, then we can move on to discussion and approval of change orders for ITB 2022-008 County Plaza renovation project. That's 22, 23, and 24.
I can look at
Yeah. Well, 23 or 22 should be, there was an accounting mishap, and so of $26. Basically, in short, what had happened was Rowan Russo had submitted a price. I had taken that, put it in a change order. There was an edit to that change order. I didn't catch it. I did the change order for the original amount. It was actually $26 less, so we're just picking that up, that $26 credit back to the county. Also, in the last change order, there was a request for a new substantial completion date.
Yep.
Because of some of the 5th floor changes, and that change order has also picked that new date up, which I believe is June.
June 14th.
Yeah. So that is number 26, or I'm sorry, 21, 22, 23. Yeah, 22. 23 then is, originally we had a credit of $2,000 back to the county to not install the ballistic panel above the ceiling at the sheriff's area. Kind of thought it might be a good idea to just use that material instead of letting it sit down in the basement. So we are paying Rowan Russo back the $2,000, so they'll install it underneath the counter on the first level, there by the lobby and the transaction windows. And then 24 is, if you'll remember early on in the project, or some of you may not, that when we started removing the curtain wall at the exterior of the building, the soffit was attached to the curtain wall. Baron Russo did a great job trying to go through hoops, trying to cut the screws to the curtain wall to leave the existing soffit in place, shore it up, all kinds of things. And then after all that, we decided, you know what, there's no way to salvage it. We just can't. So we paid to have it removed and demoed so that we could install the new curtain wall. This one is for $190,718 to install new soffit and basically metal backup, metal structure.
Yep.
To support that gypboard soffit, and then paint it and provide blocking for shades, vertical blinds, shades, whichever the county decides. So
Any
that's
questions
it.
on the change orders?
kind of shades is the county going to decide? What kind of shades is the county going to decide?
Shades for the blinds, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, we're actually trying to figure that out. One of the subs is a local vendor, and I can tell you, we've dropped some blinds off with them in June from the courthouse that need to be repaired. They said it'd be 2 months. They're still not ready. We have no idea when. And they're no longer returning phone calls to either our architect or our construction team. So they're busy looking into other options. One of the options we discussed is go online and order blinds that are maybe a little bit cheaper, but
Blinds.com?
it's possible. There and several available on the internet. Since we know that the building is going to be done the 14th of June, we're not going to be able to occupy the facility until at least the sheriff's office will be the first one in. Once the north elevator gets done, we'll have an opportunity to put blinds up. So maybe we just purchase the blinds with the project, and then have our guys install the blinds. So
Home maintenance staff or something.
this is one of the thoughts. So we're still researching, and hopefully have a little bit more information. It's not an item we need right away. There's nothing to hang them on currently, so can't do anything until all the glazing is completed, and then obviously they've got to put the soffit up that we just discussed, so.
Thanks, Dana.
Any other questions on those? Okay, so then can we get a motion to approve change orders 22, 23, and 24 for ITB 2022-008 County Plaza renovation project? So moved. Let's go Locke and Smith. Seconded by Smith. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you. Well, I guess you could just stay where you are, Carla. Right up next, we have the update on 2023-005 County Plaza Elevator Renovation Project.
Yes. So we just received our first round of submittals for that project today. We've got them to our consultant, our elevator consultant, and he is reviewing them. I anticipate that they will be returned before the end of the week. We're trying to expedite that, so because as soon as we can get those submittals in, then they can order their materials, and then the sooner they can get out there to the site. So doing all we can to get that schedule improved.
Is
Now,
there,
materials need to be ordered in order for the contractor, Otis, to determine or find out, what kind of delivery date on the materials, and then get their schedule in line so we can get that north elevator started.
I was going to say, so as of now, we're still looking at the same delivery date of, what was it, 56 weeks?
60.
Oh, 62, okay.
62, yeah, 62.
And that's from the contract date?
That's
And-
from the
okay.
contract date, yes. Yep.
So less than 62 from now.
Yeah, so
Yes,
we're
somewhere
still
in there.
looking
I'm
at-
sure we'll get more,
we're still looking
Accurate
at November
updates,
sometime
right.
of next year.
Yeah.
okay. Any questions on that? Mr. Wilson?
Thanks, Carla. We already chose the elevator vendor, which is Otis, right?
Correct.
So what's the submittal? The type of elevator, I don't know, I'm trying to imagine in my mind what the submittal is.
It's basically them telling us what they're going to provide, and then we basically look at it and say, yes, this is what matches our design.
Because I've already put in the bid, here's my elevator, here's kind of what it looks like, here's the motor, whatever, all the features, the design specs, whatever. And the submittal is just to see if it aligns with what they put in the bid, I take it.
What we had, to make sure that it aligns with what we had specified.
Okay.
So this is
Okay.
our first look at what they're providing the county.
Okay, thank you. So it's your job to make sure that the submittal matches what we're actually buying then, basically, I guess.
What we had intended to buy.
We
yes.
intended to buy, okay.
And our elevator engineer. So they'll both be
He
looking
reviews
at
it
it.
too then, okay. All righty.
These are traction elevators, they're not hydraulic. So this is all of the hoist mechanisms necessary, motors, as well as we addressed what the car is gonna look like. We're gonna reuse the car itself, but it will be reconditioned on the interior as well. So just all of the components that go into it.
Okay. So we have the same cabin or car, whatever it is. It's the motor, really, right? Is that really what it is? It's the motor,
Yeah, it's the,
trolley, whatever it is?
yeah, it's the lift mechanism
Lift mechanism, okay.
for the elevators, all three of them. And there's a lot of equipment, frankly.
New cables.
Yeah, cabling, traveling cables
okay.
for communication. You know, there's access controls on some of these, on the elevators. The public elevators will utilize each of the floors, but the north elevator will be access controls on it. You know, then there's emergency phones and
Okay,
so forth.
okay.
Mike, did you, turn on your, I'm sorry, I can't hear.
Sorry, the emergency braking system, all that'll be, we're not reusing that on the car, we'll replace that, yeah.
No,
okay.
we are reusing, the only piece that we are reusing basically is the car. And potentially the track, but everything else will be replaced.
In other words, you agree to this, or we say, yeah, it's in alignment, and if there's a comment, then they fix it, whatever, and then they're authorized to acquire the material. Is that the process? Okay.
Correct.
All righty, thank you.
Any other questions or comments, concerns? Okay, thank you. Oh, you stay up here for the next one, too. Update on the courthouse parking lot access control project.
Great. We are really in about the same stage with the courthouse access project. We've received our first submittals. They were sent back. There was a need to coordinate that with the software that the county already has. So there's some adjustment that needs to be made there. Again, with the submittals, it makes sure that we're really getting what we wanted and what we specified in our project. So that is about the same stage, submittal review.
The difference will be, we've got a weather issue now. So, you know, next week looks daunting. It's in the 30s, and several days, a high of 32, so at least forecast. So what does that mean? Well, we're not going to dig and pour concrete in this kind of weather, so we'll have to wait until we get a break, where it looks like we've got a week worth of decent weather to probably move forward with that, which could mean it may be delayed until February or even March. So I would rather delay it slightly and deal with the public still parking and tow vehicles occasionally versus trying to expedite pouring concrete, using blankets, hot water, et cetera, chemicals to try and get it to harden faster. That's just kind of a recipe for disaster, frankly, with this kind of weather, so.
Yeah, it sounds like that would set us up for more repairs down the line, sooner than later,
Yeah.
so.
The other thing I would say is that when Carla mentions, you know, the submittals, we are using the same system basically over at the plaza. In fact, the control mechanism, the computer, that will be utilized for both buildings, both parking lots, if you will, both the county plaza as well as the courthouse. So Yeah, that's why it takes a little longer and same process, but it's just taking a little bit longer to get going.
Yeah, sure.
This is back to the elevator. Just wanted to be refreshed in my memory. That was a fixed price contract for the elevator?
Yes, I want to say it was 928,000.
Right around there, yeah.
And is that milestone payments or progress payments? How do they get paid?
There's a payment that will be due once they order the equipment, which I think is about 40% roughly. And then there'll be, once they actually start the physical installation, taking out and installing. If you remember, we've been given an idea that it'll take about 14 weeks per elevator to do the work. So they'll bill one monthly based upon the work completed and the
They're billing so we gave them initial 10% down, 20% down, and then
I,
they pay
yeah, their contract calls for, I believe it's 40%.
40% initial?
Initial, that's to cover the cost of the materials.
Okay.
And then they'll bill, they'll have to submit a pay application to Carla and a team, and they'll submit that on a monthly basis,
Okay.
just like all our other big contractors do.
Thank you. Am I too far away? Oh. So if I'm not recorded, that's no big deal, right? It's okay. Thank you for answering my question. Appreciate it.
Any other questions or comments on the elevators? Okay, thank you. Next up, we have an update on ITB 2022-009 Satellite Jail Construction, Reef Stick Reed and PJ Her Construction.
Okay, if you want to open your packet to the pictures, I'm sorry I don't have the digital ones tonight. The first picture we're going to go to is the teal colored building, so that's our air barrier. After the block's done, we apply air barrier, and right before we put our insulation and brick on. So that's a good indicator that here soon this winter we'll start to see brick be laid around the building. The next picture is just a photo of some of our large detention frames. So these aren't like normal door frames, hollow metal frames. They're heavy gauge detention frames that are, well, they're very heavy and durable. So you can see a picture of some of the block integrated with those frames, columns, and beams for the structure. And you got a couple of pictures of our roof. So the roof is on the main building is complete. We have a little penthouse area we're working on, and then we'll continue on to finish the indoor rec yard, existing outdoor rec yard, which we're converting to indoor, and we'll be done with the roofing. So we've got all our temporary heat installed and temporary partitions in the exterior windows. So it's starting to dry out and become a nice warm place for everyone to work. Next photos are just some typical photos of some of the masonry and frames again, because that's pretty much what we have going on inside. We're starting to set, now that we've got areas covered, some mechanical equipment in the mechanical room. We got our geo guys out there right now. Finishing up those lines underground and running pipe inside this week. So as you can see some of that piping on the far wall, some of those valves that come in for that system, and some big water heaters. And then again, just some masonry work in progress. And just a typical area. This is a kind of a cell area out in front of the cells. The last picture, you're standing in a day room for the inmates. Those are our photos for this week. Any questions?
Mr. Wilson?
Nice accent color wall.
You like that?
Yeah, it's impressive. Does it stay that color? Probably not, right?
Unfortunately, yeah, that'll get covered up with brick.
It'll stay that color, you just won't see it.
Yeah, it'll stay that color.
It'll
You
stay
just
that
see
color,
it, Just
okay.
won't ever see it.
That is incredible. What is that? Is that just a paint or is that something else?
That's air barrier. It's a membrane. Chris can explain to you well how that works technically, but it's a part of your exterior wall assembly to keep moisture and temperature control in the space.
Oh, it's moisture and insulation, I guess?
Well, it doesn't have any insulation value, but
Oh.
it's the barrier that prevents liquid moisture from getting into the wall,
Okay.
but allows vapor to exfiltrate from the wall.
The next step on that wall is the insulation, and then the brick. So
And then the brick on top of that, okay.
yes, sir.
Oh, okay, I see those are the attachments there.
Yeah, you can. Yep.
Okay, cool. That's pretty cool, and that is a gigantic water heater.
Yeah.
How
Yep.
big-
We
how
were
big-
just talking about how fun it was to get them inside that room earlier.
That must have been really something.
Yeah.
It fit through the door.
Alrighty.
Any other questions, comments? All right, thank you for the update. We can move on to the discussion and approval of the change orders, numbers 20, 21, and 22 for ITB 2022-009 Satellite Jail Consolidation Project.
Thanks. Change order number 20 is for a slight revision to a detail that we provided for fastening an angle to the existing precast walls for the new joists that are covering the indoor rec. That was small change of $338.40. Change order number 21 was to provide electrical and fire alarm to the magnetic hold opens for a door. We had the hardware specified for those doors, but omitted the actual tie-in electrically and fire alarm work for that. So this is $3,401.21 to get those doors to function the way they're supposed to. Number 22 is to replace the inmate property storage shelving units in the property room for $32,632.10.
Let me add that we've been asked to fund the casework for this area, as well as the storage equipment that's necessary for all of the inmates' stuff that they come in with. Through part of this project, we've done exceedingly well with our contractor in not having, a large amount of change orders. Part of that's due because this is new construction, it was well-designed, well thought out, and we've not had many change orders. So we were asked to cover both the expenses. We have not got a cost back yet, or finalized yet on the storage equipment for inmate stuff. But this did come back, casework again for the booking area, to create a little bit better environment and to basically be better served for both the staff and guests coming in.
What, sorry, trying to formulate my question. Can you tell me more about like what the storage is comprised of, I guess?
Yeah, so it's, we have, like Dana said, we got two separate changes coming. One's for the casework. This is behind where, so you have the inmates come in, they check in at the desk. That's all gonna get replaced. This is the shelving units. They're kind of like open lockers, and they're using it for a lot of purposes, but the main purpose is to store I think the inmates' personal effects. So we're upgrading all of those storage units. So there's, I don't know how many there are, maybe 75 different cubbies, you know, that is all metal, that's all getting replaced and renovated to suit their needs. So it's that part, and then, like Dana said, the casework, we're still working through the design on, and the final pricing for all that. So that'll be coming here, and I'd say next month's meeting. So.
Scratch in my throat all of a sudden. Excuse me. Any other questions on these? Mr. Wilson?
Hey, thank you, good update. Door 156, is that the only door affected? No other doors are missing this stuff?
That's correct. Yes.
Any other questions, or Ellie?
Just to clarify, the third change order is for the property storage upgrade, right? Not the,
Yeah, it's for property storage, not the casework.
okay,
Correct.
so we'll see the casework one at a later date.
Yes, ma'am.
And then for door 156, there's no further need for the fire system to be modified to accommodate the door. You've got the IO for it and everything else to accommodate that.
Yeah, yes, everything else that was needed is included.
Okay.
Any more questions to stall while I recover here? We're good? Okay. So then can I get a motion to approve the change orders 2021 and 22 for ITB 2022-009 Satellite Jail Consolidation Project? Mr. Smith moves, second by Ms. Hanover Friedman. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, those pass. Thank you. I don't have any other business this evening. Mr. Brenner, do you have any other business this evening? No? Okay. No presiding officers report. Our next meeting will be, oh, thank you all, January 2nd, 6:30 p.m. Items to be placed on the consent agenda are 6B and 6F. And we are adjourned at 7:02. Thank you all.